Okay, in this video, we're talking about a really cool concept, which is that of burnout and an instant strategy for reducing that for yourself. And we're looking at burnout as nothing more than physical, mental, and emotional exhaustion. This strategy is not going to necessarily help you with the physical exhaustion aspect of that, but it's definitely going to help you with the mental and the emotional parts of that, and you'll see why in just a second here. So mental exhaustion, just all the different things that you got going on in your brain. Maybe it's the overwhelm of just all the things you got at home, all the things you have in the veterinary clinic or in your veterinary job, and then just everything else, things that are going on in society that are kind of floating around up there. But also the emotional part. As veterinary professionals, we deal with a roller coaster of emotions throughout the day. You've got the little puppy, you got the cute little puppy that comes in and it makes you so excited, and then maybe there's euthanasia. Or maybe you've got the client that comes in and is super grateful and they brought you a gift or something. Have clients ever brought me a gift? They have brought me gifts. But anyway, and then you've got the client that comes in, they're irritated, maybe they're short with you, maybe they don't believe in the medicine, they don't believe in what you're doing, they don't have any money, and maybe that can cause you to be angry or frustrated, or maybe they say something hurtful and they make you kind of sad, right? So the range of emotions, and the concept that I want to talk about today is that it's okay to experience the negative emotions. Wow, did I really just say that? It's okay to experience the negative emotions, and it's honestly okay to be negative. It's okay to be negative. I have to say that because I'm negative quite often, actually, right? I understand the concept that we're going to talk about in this video, right? So I don't hang around and being negative, but I use negativity to my advantage. And I'll tell you exactly how to do that in the next few minutes here. And so we're going to use the letter, or I don't even know what this is called. My daughter's doing it right now. But the starting out letters is what we're going to call it, since this is an English class, of G and R. Okay? That's going to kind of be the framework that we're using today. We'll call this this is the GR framework for decreasing burnout. Or it's the way that we're going to help you remember this concept. Okay. And so the concept says it's okay to gripe, grumble, and these are like sounds and little things that you can do, to be grumpy. If you're a dog, it's okay to growl. If you're a human and you like to growl, that's cool too. I think I growl sometimes. But it's okay to do all of these things. Now, they say that emotions last for 90 seconds. You can do this for 90 seconds. Heck, do it for 180 seconds if you want to. Do it for 5 minutes, right? Do it for 10 minutes. Do it for half an hour if you really want to. But anything after 90 seconds is just you re-triggering your own internal, like, emotional mechanisms and things like that, right? So the initial thing that caused you to have that emotion is going to last for 90 seconds. Anything beyond that is you re-stimulating your, we'll just call it neural network for lack of better words. And so my thing is, don't be angry at yourself for doing this part. I believe that that's normal. I believe that that is healthy to do, right? If you have a disrespectful client, like, I'm not like, yay, that was awesome. I think a lot of people think that Dr. Hawley and Renee, they're just positive all the time, and knowing the both of us, that's definitely not the case. Or things irritate me quite frequently, actually. But the 90-second rule, right? And there's probably books and videos on that. You can look that up, understand it, know it, like all the details behind it. Just follow this to the best of your ability if you can. The main thing is that you do not want to stay here, okay? So don't stay there. That is the rule. And I believe that we're all familiar with staying in that territory right there, where the thing happens and it lasts for another hour, where you're still angry about something, maybe even the next day, where you're holding on to this thing, right? Almost like a grudge. I don't like grudges. I used to hold grudges a lot as a child, even as an adult. I've held grudges before, and that's one of the main things that I am just committed to not doing, is being angry at someone or at life or feeling a certain way for days after whatever it was that made me angry or just like pissed off in the first place, right? I do not want to do that. I don't want to stay here. And so what do we do then? So what do we do? So we realize, we have the awareness that we're angry, that we're frustrated, that we're grumpy, that we're growling, that we're griping and groaning, right? So we've got that part. What do we do? Sticking with the GR framework, the first thing you want to do is give yourself some grace, right? Give yourself some grace. Number one, remember that it's okay for you to be having these emotions, because you're not a freaking robot. Okay? Cry. Go outside, scream. Try not to scream in your client's face. You might get fired for that. You'll definitely get a negative review on Google. Uncle Google's going to slap you on the wrist for that one. Don't do it, right? But give yourself some grace to know that it is okay to be feeling whatever you're feeling, but it's not okay to stay there. Okay? I mean, you can stay there if you want. Doesn't matter to me, but it's not going to serve you very well. The second part is to show some what? Gratitude. Easy ways to always show gratitude is, I'm thankful it's not worse than whatever the situation is. No matter how bad a situation is, I think we all know it could be worse. Maybe it has been worse in the past, right? And if the incident that's going on in that moment is the worst one you've ever had in your entire life, that means that the instance that you face tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that and the day after that are probably not going to be as bad as the current incident that you have. So if you have a client and they're just like cussing you out, they are being completely disrespectful, I hope you have a great way to let that client go with love, right? To let go with love, to fire that client. But after that, once that interaction is over, okay, the interactions you have with clients the next day, the next week, and the next month probably won't be as bad as that one. So you can show gratitude for all the future instances that you have that aren't as bad as that one. Okay, just I'm grateful that it wasn't that bad. You can show gratitude for the fact that you have the GR framework to work through whatever it is that you're experiencing, so you can move on throughout the day. And we're going to tie all this back to burnout in just a second, so hang with me. So gratitude. And then the third thing is that you want to grow. Okay, you want to grow. How can this be happening for you to become a better version, a greater version? So grow, become greater, right? Sticking with that GR framework again. How can you grow and become greater from the thing that you dealt with? Okay, whether it was a mistake that you made, whether it was a bad interaction that you had, whether it was a type of case that you had to deal with that maybe made you sad. How can you grow? How can you become greater, all right, as a person? And we've got a lot to talk in lectures on perspective, and we talk about how you can grow from a lot of the challenges that you face in life, like how the challenge happening for you and not to you. This is the key. At the end of every chaotic day that I have, at the end of every negative experience that I'm facing in my personal life or in the veterinary hospital, right? I'm always coming back to this. I give myself grace for who I am, which is a human that has emotions. Sometimes they're good emotions, sometimes they're negative emotions, right? I show gratitude for whatever is going on, be it good, bad, or something in between that. And I always ask myself, like, how can I grow and become greater? And this process right here, you want this to become automatic. So you're not going to be sitting there like asking yourself, Am I showing myself grace? But it's gonna need to be like forced, if you will, at the very beginning, right? And so these will be questions that you intentionally ask yourself once you have the awareness that I'm going through some of these things. And then, of course, the big thing that you don't want to do is hold a grudge. Okay, grudges is when it's dragging on beyond that day, beyond those 90 seconds. And then you also don't want to judge. So even if you do have a grudge, you don't want to judge yourself necessarily and beat yourself up for holding on to that grudge. Because sometimes even now I still fall into the grudge category. But as soon as I recognize that, I'm just like, okay, you held onto a grudge. That's okay. But is it serving you? Is it pushing you forward? What is it doing to your mental space? And that takes us back to what we're talking about in the first place. So if it's mental and emotional exhaustion, if you are doing this here, if you're doing all this, this is taking up mental bandwidth. It's not just 90 seconds, right? It's been 90 minutes now. It's been 90 hours. If you're not careful, it'll be 90 days, right? That whatever was causing you to do this, and this in the first place, it is just up here, right? It's still up there floating around. You need to get it out of here, right? You need to accept that. Not that it was okay for it to happen, but that it did happen. And now what am I going to do about it? Get it from up here so that you can free up some of that mental bandwidth so that you're not exhausted mentally, right? You don't want to be exhausted mentally and emotionally because you're holding on to emotions and you're holding on to events and things that happen way beyond the 90 seconds or whatever, right? And I understand that some things are traumatic, right? So I've had traumatic things happen to me. And if you have something that classifies as trauma, you want to go and work with a mental health professional. They have techniques, they have tactics, they have strategies, they have tools for helping you to even eliminate the trauma so that those things aren't taking up your mental and emotional bandwidth. And that's how you decrease burnout very, very quickly, because we have things all day, every day that can lead us to wanting to grumpy, to growl. If you've got kids, if you have a significant other, if you're in the veterinary profession, if you're in society, if you're a human, if you have pets, right? If you have to get in the car and get on the road, somebody might cut you off in traffic, right? If you go order food, they could mess up the order and you didn't check the bag before you pulled off. You got home and you saw that it was fries and you wanted apple slices. Don't take your kiss it. Well, I'm not gonna say that. But anyway, so bad. But whatever it is, there is like an unlimited number of things that can stress you out in any one given day. And if you compound that over 365 days in a year, you can have a very exhausting day mentally and emotionally, probably physically too. And that is not going to contribute, not going to serve you very well as a human being. I hope you enjoyed this video with what we call the GR framework. Okay, so make sure you're showing grace, gratitude, and that you're growing and becoming greater from whatever happens in your life. There it is. Please leave a comment in the description below if you have questions about how I use the GR framework and other things like it. Feel free to shoot me an email. You can find that email somewhere, probably on whatever platform this video happens to be on. But with that being said, I appreciate your time and I appreciate all that you do as a veterinary professional, and I will see you on the next video. Peace.